control is mostly political, economic and influence. The power elite are super wealthy and powerful, billionaires, like George Soros, large holders and directors of multinational core, powerful supporting firms, military, industrial and security, owners and executives in finance and banking, big media, leaders in academia, think tanks and international institutions, plus their friends, families and groupies. Some hold key positions in government, senators, Supreme Court justices, most department heads, defense, state, interior, and several governors. That's a powerful force. Their tools and methods are many, exploiting useful idiots on the left, schools, colleges, journalists and their powerful mainstream media, MSM, to build state power collectivism toward a new world order, NWO. That's why most GOP join Democrats in building big government control and a ruling corporatocracy to be modeled on China. A summary of their Machiavellian methods below. It's not a conspiracy because they disclosed most of their plans, except Bilderberg. You just don't read much about it. This ruling class of super wealthy and influential, banking, investment, politics, law, policy makers, attract a following of wannabes, groupies who love to be invited to join this exclusive country club of power and money. Hence many of big media names and executives are members of this exclusive club, the CFR and others. Those who cross the elite, go down. Those who aid them get top positions in big organizations. Though you don't know the important executives, you know some of the names of CFR members like Brian Williams, Tom Brokaw, Bob Siefer, and the 2 Supreme Court justices. CFR members hold the swing vote in the court and Senate, as in Citizens United versus FEC. That's not us, United Citizens. This was mostly planned, and the organization's power consolidated, between 1949 and 1980. The CFR was founded in 1921 by J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, financier of eugenics, and others, at first to control newspapers, to control public opinion. Its European counterparts, Chatham House, were early also. The Bilderbergers were organized in 1954 and policies set in 1966 to put down nationalism and build NATO as the elite's more independent military. Their 1966 meeting said NATO needed a crisis to stay strong. The Trilateral Commission was founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller. The central theme and mantra was to ensure peace by destroying all nationalism, by whatever means, as an excuse to end all power of citizens, by falsely blaming citizens. This false premise is the basis for their nationalism for wars, most of their efforts to destroy nations as powers in favor of their global cabal. Research the power elite. Anonymous, We Are Legion, Shogun Sec, Ultimate Spear, 1110.
The Council on Foreign Relations, and the Royal Institute of International Affairs are adept at using the media to create massive psychopolitical operations used to manipulate public opinion. The psychopolitical operations are often designed to create tensions between different groups of people. The object is to keep the world in a state of perpetual tension and warfare to maximize profits from CFRRIA munition, medicine, media, energy, and food businesses. One of the CFR has only 3,000 members, yet they control over 3/4 of the nation's wealth. The CFR runs the State Department and the CLA. The CFR has placed 100 CFR members in every presidential administration since Woodrow Wilson. They work together to misinform and disinform the president to act in the best interest of the CFR, not the best interest of the American people. At least 5 presidents, Eisenhower, Ford, Carter, Bush, and Clinton, have been members of the CFR. The CFR has packed every Supreme Court with CFR insiders. 3 CFR members, Stephen Breyer, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Sandra Day O'Connor, sit on the Supreme Court. The CFR's British counterpart is the Royal Institute of International Affairs. The members of these groups profit by creating tension and hate. Their targets include British and American citizens. The 100 CFR members that surround the president are the secret team. The secret team help carry out psychopolitical operations scripted by CFR members in the State Department and the intelligence organizations. The psychopolitical operations are coordinated by a group of Council on Foreign Relations members called the Special Group. The Special Group evolved from the Psychological Strategy Board. President Truman issued an executive order establishing the Psychological Strategy Board. The board was run by CFR members Gordon Gray and Henry Kissinger. The PSB has close ties to the State Department and intelligence organizations. The purpose of the PSB was to coordinate psychopolitical operations. Many of those operations were focused at Americans. The people became wary of the Psychological Strategy Board. Eisenhower issued an executive order changing its name to the Operations Coordination Board. The OCB was a bigger, more powerful PSB. Gray and Kissinger ran the OCB too. President Kennedy abolished the OCB. It became an ad hoc committee called the Special Group, which exists today. The PSB-OCB Special Group always has CFR members running and sitting on it. Since the Special Group was not formed by executive order, it cannot be abolished. On September 12, 1939, the Council on Foreign Relations began to take control of the Department of State. On that day, Hamilton Fish Armstrong, editor of Foreign Affairs, and Walter H. Mallory, executive director of the Council on Foreign Relations, paid a visit to the State Department. The Council proposed forming groups of experts to proceed with research in the general areas of security, armament, economic, political, and territorial problems. The State Department accepted the proposal. The project, 1939 to 1945, was called Council on Foreign Relations War and Peace Studies. Hamilton Fish Armstrong was executive director.
The shadows is our greatest weapon. Expect us. Imagine a world in which all of the main functions of society are run for profit by private companies. Schools are run by multinationals. Private security firms have replaced police forces. And most big infrastructure lies in the hands of a tiny plutocratic elite. Justice, such as it is meted out by shady corporate tribunals only accessible to the rich, who can easily escape the reach of limited national judicial systems. The poor, on the other hand, have almost no recourse against the mighty will of the remote corporate elite as they are chased off their land and forced into further penury. This sounds like a piece of dystopian science fiction. But it's not. It's very close to the reality in which we live. The power of corporations has reached a level never before seen in human history, often dwarfing the power of states. Today, of the 100 wealthiest economic entities in the world, 69 are now corporations and only 31 countries. This is up from 63 to 37 a year ago. At this rate, within a generation we will be living in a world entirely dominated by giant corporations. as multinationals increasingly dominate areas traditionally considered the primary domain of the state. We should be afraid. While they privatize everything from education and health to border controls and prisons, they stash their profits away in secret offshore accounts. And while they have unrivaled access to decision makers, they avoid democratic processes by setting up secret courts enabling them to bypass all judicial systems applicable to people. Meanwhile, their raison d'etre of perpetual growth in a finite world is causing environmental destruction and driving climate change. From sports direct slave-like working conditions to BP's oil spill devastating people's homes, stories of corporations violating rights are all too often seen in our daily papers.